too many books for the— oh, there they all are. Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about some holiday book recommendations and also my holiday TBR. I am so excited because last year I wasn't very invested in the holiday romance novel genre. It just seemed very kitschy and kind of corny to me, but I have been super into it this year. I've already read a couple of books and I've also been reminiscing really fondly on the books that I read last year. So I'm really excited to make this video and also tell you all of the books that I have already read and what I have on my holiday TBR because there are quite a few books. So we are going to start with the 6 holiday books that I have already read and my recommendations on them, if you should read them or not, and then move on to the 9 books that I have on my holiday TBR. So I'll put that timestamp here if you all just want to fast forward to my holiday TBR, but we are going to be doing the book recommendations first. So I'm going to start out with Christmas by the Book by Anne Marie Ryan. I had such a good time with this book last year. This focuses on a married couple named Nora and Simon who have been running a bookstore for the past 30 years and are about to be bankrupt. In order to lift the Christmas spirits around the town and hopefully save their bookstore in the process, they send out about 10 books to these random individuals, and we get to follow as the reader how that book impacts the people that it was delivered to. I picked up this book because it is a book about books, obviously, and I love that. And the power that receiving a story can have on an individual and how that impacts them in their life. And I didn't think that I was really enjoying it until I was crying, until I was crying over what was happening in the book and how invested I was in the town and the characters and these bookshop owners and their marriage, and it was just so heartwarming and sweet, and I really ended up enjoying this. I would definitely recommend it if you like books about books and how that impacts different people, and just generally an overall heartwarming story. I wouldn't say that it's corny, but it is very heartwarming and I loved it, and obviously I'm still talking very highly of it, so I would definitely recommend this one. And it's only about 300 pages, so a shorter read. Next, The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. This is basically The Parent Trap but older and also holiday themed, and I thought it was so much fun. This focuses on a set of identical twins named Charlie and Cass. Charlie is the co-host of a baking show and something happens and she loses her sense of taste. So obviously being on a baking show, that is not good. So she calls in her twin sister Cass, who is the baker at their family bakery in this small town in Colorado. It's perfect. It is very atmospheric. And so they end up swapping places. So Charlie goes home to run the bakery for Christmas and Cass comes to be on the set of this LA baking show. Obviously not very realistic, but it is a ton of fun, and there is a huge emphasis obviously on baking because they're both bakers, but then they also both start to develop love interest within their opposite lives. So it was just a ton of fun. It was very interesting. There's a good emphasis on family and how much respect they end up having for one another after swapping lives. And there is just the cutest little town, and I had such a good time with this one. It was super fast paced. I felt like you had good differences between the small town aspects, but then the also LA aspect of the baking show. So it was definitely a ton of fun, and I again recommend picking this up. A Season for Second Chances by Jenny Bayless. This story focuses on a mom named Annie, and she has kind of had her life fizzle out. She has been working at a restaurant with her husband while he is cheating on her, essentially. Her kids have moved out, so her second chance is her ending the marriage and starting over. To get her second chance rolling, she ends up in Willow Bay house sitting, and she finds out that she really wants to build her life here. She doesn't intend on it, but then she sees that downstairs there is this little bakery that has been closed up for a while, and she gets a lot of motivation to start bringing this back to life. So she really starts to set down roots here in Willow Bay, and she has the love interest as well. But I would hazard you to know that it is more of a literary fiction read. This really focuses on Annie and how she is rebuilding her life after she is coming out of her marriage and redefining what she looks like and how she wants her life to look. There's definitely a sprinkle of romance, but it is not the center point. I think that's very important to know going in because that's what I thought, and that's probably why I didn't enjoy this book as much. My expectations were just very different from what I received, which is fine, but I think it's good to know. Also, this is an over 400-page book, and so it felt like it was really dragging on for me for a little bit. So if you're looking for a literary fiction novel, I would definitely recommend picking this up. But if you are looking for something more romance heavy, I would probably look at other Christmas romance books. Snowed In for Christmas by Jacqueline Snow. I had such a fun time with this. I received the advanced reader copy on NetGalley and then was sent this over from Forever Publishing, and I love it. The cover is just so cute, and the story itself is also very cute. This is dual POV, and it follows our main female character, Becca, who is a quirky sorority house mom, and she is staying at the sorority house over the holidays to just make sure that everything seems fine with the sorority house when this huge winter storm rolls in. She wakes up and she has lost power in this sorority house, but luckily the football coach Harrison has swooped in kind of to save the day and make sure that she's all right, and brings her back to his house to hunker down and just try to stay alive through this storm. The odd thing is, though, is that Becca and Harrison had gone on a date a couple of years ago, and Harrison said that he would call and then just never did. Becca had no idea what to do because she thought that this date was really good, but what happened? So she finds it very odd now that they are hunkering down together, but is trying to make the most of it regardless. I think that I really enjoyed this one a lot because it had more of a like survivor instincts. It wasn't very Christmas focused. It just happened to be at that time of year. The big focus was on surviving the snowstorm, which I found very fun. Also, definitely a little bit spicy, so know that going in. It was very fun. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I think it was fantastic. I would definitely recommend picking it up, and I'm looking forward to reading more by Jacqueline Snow. One Day in December by Josie Silver. This book follows Lori, who doesn't really believe in love at first sight, but she sees this guy on a bus and she thinks, oh my gosh, that might be my soulmate. And so the bus drives away and she spends the next like 6 months trying to find this mystery man. She's almost about to give up hope when he arrives at the Christmas party that her and her best friend are hosting together as her best friend's date. Her best friend is just so excited about this guy that Lori doesn't want to mess it up and tell her that that's the guy that she's been looking for the past couple of months, so she just stays silent and lets everything kind of progress. This story takes place over the course of I think 10 years, and how timing is just never really working out for these two characters. I will say that I have seen the reviews and I understand that if this were a real life scenario, then it would have been just so messy. I definitely don't support fawning after your best friend's boyfriend. However, since it is a piece of fiction and I am a big fan of star-crossed lovers and soulmates, that I really enjoyed it. I had such a good time with it. It was written really well so that we were still entertained with the different things that are going on over the course of 10 years. Like, it could be very boring and have the same things occurring, but it didn't. So if that sounds like something that might be up your alley, it's okay. First off, it's just fiction, but I had a really good time with this and would definitely recommend it. And then my last recommendation, I just recently finished reading this, so it's very hot on my mind, but it is 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth, and I gave this 4 stars. It was so much fun, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. This book follows our main female character who has been morphing herself into this serious woman that her boyfriend has wanted her to be so that he'll commit. It's been 4 years. She thinks that it's coming, but on Halloween night, he very abruptly dumps her and leaves her in the street. She starts to look back on the relationships and everything that she has done to morph herself to be this perfect woman, this woman that could be taken seriously by his law firm, and she just gets so angry that she has been this blindsided by the breakup, but also just not recognizing the signs when they were there as well. So her and her best girlfriends get drunk and they come up with this revenge plan. And there are a bunch of different like petty revenge things that they do, like put glitter in his vents. Just little things that are very legal but just very annoying and inconvenient. But the grand plot is that she is going to show up to this holiday party on the boss of his arm that he hates. So her and the boss end up matching on this dating app, and they go on a date, and kind of from the very beginning she knows that this is going to be more like they feel this spark. It's not just a fling. She starts to really like him, and we get to see that happen over the course of the entire story. And oh my gosh, it was so, so good. So I love age gap. Normally the trope is ex-boyfriend's dad, but ex-boyfriend's boss is just as powerful. And then we also get to see her start to recover the pieces of herself that she had put aside to be this like perfect girlfriend for her ex. It was very spicy. I had such a good time with it. It was just insane. I was reading this on a plane, and it was on my Kindle, and I thought that if either man on either side of me looks down and sees what I'm reading, they are going to be so flustered because it's pretty intense, but it was so good. I loved it. But also the plot was so good. So it was like the perfect mix of all of the holiday season. You had the spice, but you also had the plot, and it was really, really, really good. So I enjoyed it way more than I thought that I would. I'm very excited to read more by this author. I think she just had another book come out called Big Nick Energy, and I think that I'm gonna have to pick it up. And those are my 6 holiday book recommendations. Let's get into my holiday TBR. So these are the 9 books that I have physically on my TBR right now, and I haven't read them yet. Obviously, that's why they're on my TBR, so I'm not sure how they'll turn out or if my description is going to be perfect, but let me know in the comments if I'm getting anything wrong. Okay, so the first book and that I'm very excited about is Just Like Magic by Sarah Hogle. This book follows Betty, who is very caught up in her image and boasts a very extravagant lifestyle, but ends up losing all of her money. And so she is home for the holidays when she plays All I Want for Christmas backwards and somehow conjures the Christmas spirit. I don't know, but I have seen so many people read this book and they say it is so much fun. It's just very ridiculous, and I really look forward to it because, you know, we're just here for a silly, goofy time. It's the Christmas spirit, why not? Next, The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. I have finished the Knock 'Em Out series earlier this year, and I just found myself really loving her writing style, the way that she has the found family trope, the small town. I don't think that I normally am looking for small town, but when Lucy Score writes it, apparently I am. So this book is going to focus on Noah, who is a single dad and a town manager, and they have just had a hurricane blow in, and so that is kind of wrecking their Christmas plans. Kat, who is a renovations expert, rolls in with her camera crew for the reality TV, and they try to clean up this town before Christmas. Apparently they can't stand each other, except for that one time that they really did enjoy each other, and now they are just trying to make it work. So it seems like small town, enemies to lovers potentially, but like in the loosest terms. I don't know. I don't know. I am very hopeful. This is also one of her shorter romance reads, so I'm very excited about it. I'm just wanting to get more into her stories and see what else she is doing outside of the town of Knock 'Em Out. Okay, and this one has been on my TBR for so long. I've seen this book probably for the better part of 2 years now, so I know that I'm going to get to it this year. This is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. This used to be like a Kindle Unlimited self-published, but it was picked up by Berkeley. So that is just so exciting as always. We love to see authors accomplishing their dreams. This story is focusing on Stella, who inherits a Christmas tree farm from her family, and it has kind of gone under a little bit. It needs some saving. So she enters this contest where there is a cash prize that will hopefully save the Christmas tree farm from its financial burdens. But on the application, she has said that she owns this Christmas tree farm with her boyfriend. There is no boyfriend. Enter her best friend Luca, who very thankfully agrees to fake date her. Enter best friend Luca, who very graciously agrees to fake date his best friend, and we can all see where this is going. But I think that this is going to be so atmospheric with the Christmas tree farm. I love best friends to lovers. I think it's going to be a he falls first trope. Fingers crossed, we love that one too. But I think that the vibes are going to be immaculate, so I can't wait to pick this one up. And then we have two Tessa Bailey books. First, we have Window Shopping and then also Wreck the Halls. This is the new one that came out this year, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I'll probably start with Window Shopping because it looks just a little bit short and it could just be fun to do that. I still haven't read a Tessa Bailey book yet, so I'm very much looking forward to just having one of her books be the Christmas book that I read. So I'm hoping that she does great with it. I have high expectations based off of everybody else's hype, so I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so window shopping, this seems to be about a woman who is standing in front of a window display when she says that it's a tragedy to the man standing beside her who happens to own the window display, and then he ends up hiring her, and he's apparently very hot, as they are. So we are probably going to get some workplace romance, but also she's a window designer. I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. If you have read this, please let me know because it sounds very interesting. And then Wreck the Halls, I'm pretty sure, is all about music because the two main characters' names are Melody and Beat. Beat. Come on. We'll see. Interesting, to say the least. Okay, and then I wanted to give Jenny Bayless's other books a chance, so I picked up the 12 Days of Christmas and Meet Me Under the Mistletoe. So as you can probably guess, this is a book about a woman who kind of has it all, but then her best friend signs her up for a dating service where she is going to have 12 dates before Christmas. She likes to think that the odds are in her favor, obviously with 12 dates, but we will see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I'm sure very well. On the other hand, Meet Me Under the Mistletoe focuses on a bookstore owner who is heading into the English countryside for the holidays where she ends up seeing her childhood enemy. I personally really struggle with childhood enemies because it always seems like people regress to a very immature state naturally when it is just childhood. So I think it'll be interesting. I hope that it plays more into the bookstore owner in like the fun English countryside for the holidays, and that it is not just immature grappling between the two characters. That's all I ask for. Next, 8 Perfect Hours by Leah Louise. This is about a woman named Noelle. How fitting. Woman named Noelle who gets stuck in her car during a snowstorm and just no electricity, no nothing, when a heroic man named Sam, who was also stuck in his car, just taps on her window and they spend 8 perfect hours in the car together. In the morning, the road has cleared and they are able to go on their way and don't think that they'll ever run into each other again. But it seems like fate has something else in mind and they keep bumping into each other and they start to realize that nothing really is coincidence. I haven't heard anything about this book, so I found it at Goodwill for $1 and I figured I'd try it out. I don't know how Christmas focused it'll be, but if the main character's name is Noelle, then I'm gonna assume that it's kind of Christmassy, right? Okay, and then the last one on my physical TBR is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Sierra Simone and Julie Murphy. And whenever I see Sierra Simone's name, I'm just like, it's gonna be spicy. And with the premise, it certainly is. So we're following our main female character, B, who is an adult film star, and she has quite the following, but when her agent says that she is going to move into a holiday romance movie that is more family friendly, she realizes that her career is about to take quite the turn. And she is thrilled when she sees her childhood crush Nolan, who is an ex-boy band member and has kind of had his image torpedoed. So they both have a lot to gain from this Christmas movie together, but Nolan is actually one of the subscribers to her account. And so things are definitely about to heat up a little bit. Honestly, it just sounds like a ton of fun. I think that it is a very unique twist on it, and she is also a plus size adult film star. So I think that it's just gonna be so much fun. Just a spicy good time. Why not? And those are the 9 books on my holiday TBR. If you have any additional books that you don't see on here or that I have not read, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always looking to expand my holiday TBR. And those are all of my holiday book recommendations and my holiday TBR. Thank you guys so much for hanging out until the end of this video. I hope you all got some good recommendations out of this or some more books to put on your holiday TBR. I can't wait to hear about them. Let me know in the comments what your favorite holiday book is. I'm so interested to see what other people think and always looking for more books, obviously, to put on my TBR as well. Thank you all again, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!